Thanks for joining everybody. Welcome back. This is our 5th talk in our Community Design Z Day. My name is Emily. I'm an experienced designer in EPAM Hong Kong office. Today I will be your moderator. Before we start, I would like to encourage everybody to ask questions throughout the talk. So on your top right corner, you will see a little speech bubble icon. That's your Q&A chat. Please send us your question, and the rest of the audience will be able to vote by giving your question a little thumbs up. At the end of the talk, we'll have time for Q&A session with the speaker. You do have a prize today, and for the most valuable question, we'll give 1 year subscription for both Summit Cloud. So make sure you leave your question. Make sure you don't ask it anonymously. Leave your email with us. We won't share your email, but we want to send you the prize. So cool. So it's time to introduce our speaker today. His name is Farid Sabitov. He's a senior user experience designer at EPAM with 10 years of experience working in B2B and B2C industries in both small and medium-sized business and enterprise-sized organizations. Unfortunately, there's a little issue about the video sharing in Belarus. We might not be able to see his face today, but his talk is really interesting. He'll be sharing with us about design operations, scripting, plugins, and API integrations, and the ways how organizations automate their design process. All right, over to you, Farid.
Hello, everyone. Emily, thank you for introduction. So I will share my screen right now, and I hope you can see it. So my talk for today is around the automations and DesignOps. Unfortunately, I'm not able to share my video because of the current situation in Belarus. And before sharing my presentation, I just wanted to spend some time understanding and supporting and sharing all the information, like what is happening in Belarus. This is our colleagues, this is our friends. It's very peaceful place here, but unfortunately, as you know, there are some issues right now. So that's why I just wanted to support and share. And please share this information with others. Belarus needs support right now. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. My name is Farid Sabitov. I'm senior experience designer located in Minsk right now. And today I wanted to share with you some interesting topics, interesting things about the DesignOps. As you heard already, Jay and Andy already shared quick overview of DesignOps and how everything, the overview of what DesignOps can do and why it matter. So today I wanted to go into details and speak about the automation, scripting, and other things, how we could automate our work. So our plan for today, I wanted to go through the design challenges. So we will understand one more time. I think it will be important to go through that one more time so everyone will understand what is DesignOps, because right now some people have different understanding. So I just wanted to clarify and make sure that everyone understands what is DesignOps. My speech today is focused mostly on practical things. I want to encourage and motivate you to start thinking about the operations inside your design teams. Came up with some analyzing and understanding the current processes that you have. And this today also we have a workshop with Ashish. So there we will present you and show you how you are able to analyze your current processes, understand your company realities, and make sure that the practices and processes that you will specify in your design team will work across the whole organization. But the final step of all of that is the automations, and that's the thing that I wanted to go through today. So please, if you have any questions, please share that on the chat, and yeah, we'll be happy to answer them. So the first thing that I want to go through is the design challenges. It's important to understand why do we need design ops. So as you know, design team evolves, and design teams that we had 10 or 20 years ago are not the same as we have them right now. We already see on the market that every business understands the value of design. It's really important. Right now, it's not only about creating and building products, but also about like how to make sure that the products that we are building are useful and the users that are using our products are happy with it. So within this thing, within this latest trends on the market, we see that design teams are evolving and they are becoming much bigger than we had like a couple years ago. And within this evolvement, the evolution of design teams, we are facing some challenges here. Some challenges around the craft, how we can make sure that design deliverables are quality, like have the right quality, we have the right design process, and etc. How to make sure that our team has in the right level. How to make sure that designers are feeling motivated and engaged during our work. How to make sure that the performance and tools that we are using are well integrated with each other and can help us to work more efficiently. Also, I think you all heard about the knowledge sharing, the knowledge management, the design systems that are becoming more and more popular because we see that design teams are evolving right now, and we are on the next, like on another level when we need to prepare and spend some time on operations as well. We also will speak about the design culture, design growth, maturity, and market recognition. This are the topics and the challenges that design teams are facing with. As you see here, it's not connected to the product stream. It's more like operations. It's about how people are working with each other, how designers are communicating with other disciplines, how we which tools do we use, which are the processes that can be used within the design team. So when we understood the design challenges, I wanted to go through the understanding of what is a design ops. So if we will go through the definition that we came up with, design ops is focused on operations inside and outside the design teams that can help to increase speed, efficiency, and quality of design deliverables in order to amplify design's value and impact at scale. You see that we are not mentioning any product streams. We are focusing only on operations. And we have 4 main dimensions where all our focus areas are specified. This is people, practices, tools, and craft. So it's not only about design teams, it's also about like how design teams are integrating and working with other disciplines. And I think you all heard about DevOps, product ops, because operations are becoming more and more popular and they are on demand right now on the market. So when we understood what is the design ops, we understood the challenges that we are trying to solve. Let's go through the approach of how we could do that. So the approach is simple. This is like we have 4 main stages in DesignOps. The first one is assess, optimize, scale, and automate. As you see, within these 4 different stages, we have sub-steps here where we are trying, within the assess phase, we are trying to make sure and understand what are the challenges, what the problems design teams are having right now. Here we are able to conduct some workshops to make sure that we are understanding and gathering all the problems, and so we can understand what kind of solutions we can propose. And also within the assess phase, we are able to go through the maturity metrics and understand through each of the dimensions which level of maturity design team is currently having. Around the maturity model and all other things, Ashish will cover today on the workshop as well. So please join. It will be after 40 minutes after my speech. So I will be there as well. So please join this workshop. That will be really interesting and exciting. After assess phase, we are going into the optimize phase where we are trying to come up with some practices, solutions, processes, and test it within like small design team. When we are testing these kind of things, we are gathering feedback. We are trying to understand how to create the process more efficiently. And after having all this feedback and preparing the onboarding materials, we are going into the scale phase, where we are trying to scale these practices through the whole organization. As you saw before, DesignOps is mostly focused in large enterprise companies, because in product companies where we have like 10 or 20 designers, DesignOps will not bring too much value because the team is very small, and we don't need to again, it's always better to spend some time and focus on the operations. But again, DesignOps are focused mostly on large design teams, because there we can present some more value. And the last step, where we understanding the current maturity model of the design team, we came up with some practices, we tested that and scaled for a whole organization. Because of that, we are getting more and more feedback that we can implement and have it on the automate phase. That's the part that I wanted to focus today, because all other phases was mostly covered during the speech from Jay and Andy, and also we will covering some of them optimized phase in our workshop today. So I wanted to go through automate phase. Don't worry, it will be a little technical. I'm not saying that DesignOps should know how to code, but this is a good bonus if DesignOps can also do some scripting, or can just manage the development team to make sure that they are able to deliver or develop some kind of plugins, scripts, integrations that could automate this work. So let's go through one of the examples that I have. So this is one of the projects that I was working on. This is large enterprise company. They have different portfolios with different products inside across different markets. And also within these products, like specific design teams, design streams are working. So we had more than 100 designers in the company, and we, because it was a very large company, they wanted to make sure that all the processes were specified correctly. But when we came to the when we started to analyze what are the problems there, and this is like the simple thing here that I want to show is the asset handoff process of how designers are sharing the assets like icons and other things to the developers. As you see here, most importantly, everything is focused around the time that people are spending. We have also another section where we are showing the tools that we are using. This is another interesting topic about the DesignOps. We are showing the actions that people are doing to make sure that they will able to finish their task. And at the bottom, we have roles, different actors. So in our case, it's visual designer, front-end developer, and that's it. So within this analysis, we are able to understand the create and update cycle of the current process. And the process is called asset handoff process. So as you see here, before that, the team were using different tools like Sketch, SamiGit, OneDrive, Microsoft Teams for communication, Photoshop for storing all the sprites, and other tools to make sure we are able just to create or update some icons inside the sprite. So as you can see here, the process looks very complex, and it was done a long time ago. So that's why, because we were have different tools right now on the market, and we are able to improve this process, we started to think of how we could present the better way. And before presenting better process, we need to make sure that we are measuring we know what to measure. And also this slide was also covered during the Jay and Andy's speech. So I will not spend too much time here, but what I just want to show you that if we are going from the administrative, tactical, and strategic levels, this goes from the left to the right side, where the main focus, the basic things are around craft and productivity. So that's why by having these numbers, having these metrics in mind, we are able to calculate during the process that we had as a handoff improvement, how much time people were spending on creating an updating cycle. It was around 6 hours, and that was the real numbers, even it was more positive numbers. We had 9 communication gaps. That means that if one of the actors will leave on a vacation or will be out of office or will go to the lunch, that means that within each of these communication gaps, we are adding the risks that the whole process can take a lot more hours. Supported libraries, Photoshop, Sketch, and Samigit. Extra supported tools, Photoshop and Envision. So after that, we started to understand and analyze how we could automate this process. And because we were using Abstract already and some Sketch, we came up with another process here at the bottom that is more efficient and more easier to support. So after that, we, as you see here, that's the numbers that we could get. So time spent on create and update cycle was decreased by 75%. We only had 3 communication gaps, and this is very good because it's important to make sure that we have as much less as we can these communication gaps, so we will not spend so much time on during this process. We had only Sketch to support the library, and instead of using Photoshop and Envision, we were able to use this Abstract. And yeah, that's the result of that we have done for this quick example that I want to share you around the asset handoff process, where we were able to increase velocity and speed of delivery. We were able to specify straight and transparent process because right now it becomes much simpler and the onboarding time is taking less. And the third step is the automation of routine tasks. This is the step that I want to go through today and speak about it in more details. And let's go through the automate phase. As I shared before with you the approach of DesignOps, the automate phase was the last step. So during this automate phase, we are able to do some scripting, some POCs, proof of concepts, some tools that we call the tools that can help us to automate some routine work. And the outcomes of this phase is some kind of plugins or scripts or templates that could help designers to work more efficiently. And within the example of the asset handoff improvement, we came up with a structure of how designers are able just to be add all their assets as symbols into specific artboard in Sketch. And just by using Abstract, they don't need to spend any time on this asset handoff improvement. And as you can see here, within the Abstract API, we were able to generate the code for the developers, so they don't need to support and calculate the X and Y position of the specific icon on the sprite. They don't need to calculate the width and height of this sprite icon. And also, we were able to solve the naming convention problems because designers and developers had different naming conventions. So within this process, the final step, we were able to automate that and have it fully automated. So as you saw here, we had this process on the top. We suggested them more efficient process at the bottom, and the last step was to fully automate that within the Abstract API. So also, I wanted to focus today on more practical things, and please ask your questions. Another thing that I want to share quickly, I will not spend so much time here, is around the design linter. That's another example of how DesignOps could help design team. So everything starts with the challenge, right? So this is the second phase where we had optimize, where we are starting understanding what is the problem. And the problem and the challenge was how we can make sure that designers are developing some consistent solutions, the typography and colors that designers are using in Sketch are consistent with design library. So within this challenge, we were trying to understand what are the current solutions are available on the market. There is linter, Sketch, Roller 2.0, Sketch Styler, and other plugins and extensions that could help us to solve this issue. After that, when we decided and we presented that to our main stakeholders, we decided to go with one of the options called Roller 2.0, where this plugin helps designers to quickly go through the Sketch file and see find all the inconsistencies. If designer is adding new text style or the text layer don't have any text style, it shows right away, and it can help other designers to show what are the inconsistencies. So after doing that, we did a quick test within our small design group, focus group. It was Alina and Alexander. I just presented the way how it can be done. The whole onboarding flow, prepared some materials. We also recorded the sessions. Also, I gathered some feedback and calculated the amount of time that we were spending before and how much time we could save right now, and how more efficiently and easier the process will look like for the newcomers as well. So after doing that, we had a lot of positive feedback. Right now, it really helps designers to see, and like it gives also extra feedback loops with the design system team, because designers were using like design linter to make sure that everything is consistent. So that's why we had more feedback loops with designers and design system librarians. And as a final result, we just like prepared a roller guide, the design linter guide, where we had table of contents, why do we need to use this practice, some video tutorial recorded screen sharing, how to use with very detailed steps and which tools and how much time approximately spent there, with some feedback and like Q&A session as well. So this is like a quick example that I want to show from design linters. That's another example of like how DesignOps consultants can help you within your design team. And if you are interested, there is a template that you can use, and you can download my global interactions file where all these different templates are already there, and you can just like reuse that. So you will save more time if you would like to analyze your current processes as well. This is like a first part of my speech. So I just wanted to ask, is there any questions that we can go through right now, or I can continue?
I think from our audience, there's a question about what do you think about having a tree track agile process over a classical engineering oriented agile process? Is this mandatory? How it helps the product team? I'm not sure if you cover this in the later where you want to.
So the question is, do we need to go like, if we are speaking about the agile processes, also there are different frameworks like less or safe framework, scaled agile framework, that have this like different specifications of how like all the agile team should work. Here we need to be more specific and understand what exactly is meant by engineering agile process. Yeah, if you are interested, I have a couple ways of how to integrate designers into agile. It's available in my Medium, where you can find the way how triple loop product lifecycle is looking like, and how to integrate design into agile process in Jira and track their updates there as well. I hope I answered your question. If not, please just specify more details in the Q&A session, and I will be happy to answer.
Right. Andre, I think, feel free to leave your email. We can get in touch. And there's another question. What is the difference between research ops and design ops?
Really, there is no difference. It's just more specific thing. Design ops, I think you all heard about like product ops, design ops, DevOps. It's just like some specific topic focused around the operations. Some design ops that we have, Dave Malov, he's like one of the main influencer in design ops community on the market right now. He's not separating these two things. It's just like, it's one thing. It's just research ops is focused only on user research. But when design ops we are trying to focus on user research, on user experience, on design systems and other things as well. So again, it's just like more detailed thing, but I see that research ops community is becoming much larger and like it's growing faster than design ops. Yeah, so my question is like, there is no clear differences. It's just like more focused operations flow.
Cool, thank you. Cool, thank you. Let's continue.
Thank you. Okay, so let's go into the main topic that we had is about the automations. And when we are speaking about the automations, it also shows the mature DesignOps maturity in your company. So personally, I'm dividing everything into 3 levels, like novice, intermediate, and advanced. Ashish have with more details. Yeah, it's really great DesignOps maturity model, and he will share that in our workshop in a couple minutes. But like here, what I want to show that is when we are speaking about DesignOps maturity levels, the novice level is when we have clear processes, when we have a knowledge base with all the materials, when every team knows how to work with each other, when we have clear responsibilities, when designers when they are joining the design team, they know where to find and where to search the practices that design teams are using. So this is like, if we have that, that means that we are on the novice level. Intermediate level, it's about the scaling practices. If we have trainings, mentoring groups, some conferences in a design team, in a design organization, if we have some onboarding materials that were prepared and updating all the time, and they are always up to date, some automated tests and gathering feedback from the whole process that we like in knowledge base that we have, and the knowledge base is a living place where it's always constantly updating and getting all the feedback. That means that we are on the intermediate level where we have these scaling practices. And the last, maybe not the last step, is the advanced, where we have the automatizations, where we have some advanced techniques to automate the work inside our design organization, where we have some open source projects like works that we have in our design organization, and we are sharing that with the whole community, where we are focusing on marketing, where we have our own social media, where we have our own plugins and other things. That means that when we have these automatizations, that means that we are on an advanced level. So here I just wanted to show like how novice is different from the advanced. And if we are speaking about automatization examples in EPAM, we have display application that is it's the main goal of display is to make sure that the handoff process is clear and simple, where designers are able to upload their sketch files to the display, where our developers are able to quickly get all the latest specs. And also, if we are sharing these design files with our stakeholders or clients, we are able to have this communication tool where all the feedback is gathered in one place. This is one of the tools that we have in EPAM. So that's why I'm really proud that we are starting to develop our own products. And also here, I just wanted to use and share the plugin that I made personally, Spacing Manager. I will cover that in a couple seconds as well. That's the thing that I want to share you, that when we are having our own tools, our own open source projects, when we are developing some tools that could help us automate our work, that means that we are more advanced and we not only doing the right things, but also we are doing them efficiently. So let's go through the leaders on the market that we have right now. So I think you all know the Airbnb. They are really mature right now on the market. They all already developed their own tools like Lottie and other products that they have. I think you all know that. And here I want to show all the leaders from the design perspective on the market right now, from top to bottom. So the main things that we see here is that, like, personally, I see Airbnb as the leader right now because they have really great and really mature DesignOps discipline in their company. The next step is the Facebook design. They also have their own products, they have resources, they are sharing the articles, some knowledge with others, the same as Design Google and Microsoft. But Airbnb has more, I think they put more, they brought more value to the community itself with the Lottie that they developed. And after that, we see some others like where like Design GitLab or Salesforce or Spotify Design, where these companies are just sharing some knowledge, some resources, but they are not developing their own products. And like as we see here, some of them are not sharing even the knowledge. They are sharing just like they have just a design system, but from design perspective, they are not sharing any resources, any knowledge, or any products. So that's why I just wanted to show you and maybe inspire you and engage you to see what kind of things other companies are doing and start doing that in your own company as well, in your design organization as well. So if we will go through the Airbnb and we'll see like what they did for the community, we know the Lottie. It's one of the best tools right now in the market that helps to transfer easily the motion design artifacts into the development environment. So you can just like create some animations inside After Effects and upload your whole animation to the development environment without any problems and issues. And also they developed a long time ago Painting with Code. This is the a tool that is able to generate sketch files out of the code itself. So it's, again, you see that from the DesignOps maturity model, they already had these practices. They know how designers are working with other disciplines. They started to scale this, their processes and the knowledge that they had, and they gathered some feedback. And as a final stage, they just started to develop their own products where they are trying to automate some of the routine work that designers were doing. So as you can see here, like Painting with Code helps designers to quickly generate the page that developers are having. So we don't need to redraw everything from scratch. And the Lottie file helps us to quickly transfer all the motion design artifacts into the development. If we are speaking about EPAM, I just wanted to promote more our display application. And I think after display, we will start developing our own products more, because this is a great opportunity for us to contribute to the design community worldwide, globally. So that's why I'm really excited and really proud that we have started to develop our own products as other companies as well. And thanks to Design Z Day, we have this large communities that are connecting with each other, and we are trying to share all the knowledge that we have, all the practices that we have with the whole world. So right now I wanted to go through some practical advices of how to start. And if we like, I hope I was able to motivate and engage you to start thinking about the optimization. Before that, as we know, we need to focus on the optimize and scale and assess phases to make sure that the whole design organization uses the right processes. We have these right feedback loops to gather the feedback. And then the last step, we are starting to focus on optimizations. And from the tools perspective, we have three main types of the tools, like management, execution, and communication from design perspective. And to be more specific, let's go through the tools that we are using. Again, I'm just like presented some of them. There's a lot more, and that's why this is one of other topics, like why DesignOps are on demand right now, because we see a large amount of tools right now on the market, but it's important to specify the right tool set for the right design team to make sure that they are able to work more efficiently. And if we see we'll go for the management, we have Jira or TFS, or maybe some of you are using Trello. From the execution perspective, we have some tools like Abstract plus Sketch or just a Figma. And if you would like to have unmoderated remote usability sessions, you are able to use Maze to validate some of your hypotheses. And for the communication, we are using Confluence, maybe InVision, Teams to communicate with each other. So when we are knowing which kind of tools do we have, when we are knowing which kind of practices and processes our design organization currently have, we can start thinking about how we could make sure and came up with some ideas that could help us to automate some of the routine work. And if we will go through the Figma, that's like one of the easiest examples that will be like easy for everyone. What I like about the Figma is that they have really broad amount of different integrations, API, plugins, and scripts. If you are using Sketch, you are able to achieve the same results if you are using Abstract, because Abstract have API and some integrations as well. So if you would like to do some automations in your design team as well, you can, even if you have Sketch, just by using Abstract, you are able to achieve the same results, but with much more effort. Yeah, so let's go through the Figma, and we have four main topics, four main dimensions where we can gather some interesting ideas how we could automate our work. I will go a little technical, but still I want to motivate you to go through each of these main topics and came up with something interesting, like how maybe some of these ideas could help you to work more efficiently and automate some routine work. So the first thing from the integrations perspective, there is Integramat, and I will show that in a couple seconds, where they have integration with Figma, and also you can integrate with other tools like Google Drive, Airtable, GitLab, and other different tools. It's very easy to use. It's not really complex. So I encourage you to take a look into Integramat and come up with some your own scenarios that will help you to automate some of the routine work. The next one is the API. Figma has official API and it's really comprehensive. They have almost everything. And I will show a couple examples around the API, how we could automate our work, some plugins, and scripts. So let's go through each of them. So the first one that I wanted to share with you is the Integramat, where you can connect different tools as different modules, and you can specify some triggers. So for example, if you would like to have some version history, track some version history in Figma, you are able to do that via Integramat. And just by making some API calls through the Integramat, you are able to create a scenario that will help, for example, design managers or lead designers to automate some of the work that they have. And when we are speaking about large design organizations, there are some things that could be automated in that way as well. If we are speaking about the API, I just wanted to share you what kind of possibilities do we have here and what we have done already. With Figma API, we were able to generate design tokens. I think you all heard about that from design systems. So here within the Figma API, we were able to generate colors, typography, effects, spacers, and other things directly integrated into the development environment. And the cool thing about that is our main challenge was to develop and design a white label design system. That means that this design system needs to be changed within the styles of a specific brand. So if we have, for example, Coca-Cola, we need to make sure that the colors are red. We are using specific typography, and within the API and the theming capabilities in Figma, we were able to quickly generate all the themes directly in Design Tool and export that directly into the development environment. So we didn't spend a lot, it was really efficient, and we didn't spend any time on having a lot of communications and discussing of how these things should work. Plugins. This is the plugin that I made personally, and it helps you to specify the right spacings between your elements. And if you have this true design system where all the components, styles, and assets are integrated with development environment, by using this Figma plugin, and you are able to quickly specify the right spacings. This is one of the design tokens that can be used in your design system. For example, I'm using 8-point grid spacings. So that's why this plugin is able to quickly place the right spacings between all your elements if you are using auto layout. So that saves a lot of time on making sure that everything is consistent with the development. And as you see also, it's not only have this part spacing prediction functionality, but also you can quickly show and hide the visibility of the spacing. So it will not, as you can see here, it will not be shown in the specific places, for example. The way how I'm using that, I have two types of files. One of them is the library, where the design system components are stored, where all the spacings are visible by default. And then another type of Figma files are for prototyping, where all these components are taken from the design library. And by using the spacing manager, I'm just turning off all the visibility of all the spacings. So it looks very consistent, and I can make sure that everything is like, the spacings are really consistent during my design deliverables. So if we are speaking about the scripts, and if we are taking Figma as a tool, we have Scripter plugin in Figma that allows you to quickly write some scripts that will help you to automate some of the work. As you can see here at the bottom left corner, I quickly just it's not a rocket science, it's simple. I just quickly created a quick script that helps me to go through a specific style, and I can just go through the whole library that we have to make sure how much times these specific styles were used during our design library. So again, if we have a DesignOps in our team, we can ask them to create some of these things, or if DesignOps is not able to develop some of these things, they always can help you to manage that and have some development team to develop the scripts as well. And on the top right corner, we have a Scripter plugin that quickly creates underlines. And the challenge that we had is that we needed custom underlines under the specific text. As you can see here, the links, and they had custom underlines. So that's why this quick script helps to quickly generate and place all these underlines under each of these texts. So what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that by understanding the design ops, by assessing, optimizing, and scaling the processes that we have, the last step is automate. And I hope I was able to motivate and engage you to start thinking about these automations, because it's not only about Figma, it's not only about abstract, it's about combination and understanding how designers are working with other disciplines as well. And again, by combining all these tools, maybe Slack or Microsoft Teams or Jira and other tools, and knowing what kind of things do we have from tools perspective, we can do some interesting work. And it's some people might think that this is bad because it's automates some of the work, and some people are afraid, but it will not automate the whole work. It's just it's just helping to remove this routine work that designers are doing and give them more time and opportunity to focus on more important things like research and other things. Because some of the work that we are doing right now, just by having the right combination of tools, plugins, and practices, we are able to work more efficiently. I will go quickly through the main takeaways that I had during my career, where I started to think about DesignOps and coming up with some interesting practices of how we could do that. So the first takeaway is to listen the team, because when you are joining the design team, you need to make sure that you listen and you are understanding all their problems. And within the processes that I showed, the approach that I showed with assess, optimize, scale, and automate, we are able to make sure that the real problems are solved during this DesignOps engagement. Another takeaway that I had is that only communication will not solve the problem, because some people are saying just by discussing all these issues all together and solving them during the calls, it will solve the problem. Unfortunately not, because right now, if we are speaking about large design teams, just by communication, it will not solve the problem. We need to make sure that we are able to came up with some practices, some processes, and maybe automate some of the routine work to make sure that we are able to work more efficiently. So that's why only communication will not solve the problem. Do not push changes. This is more about the change management. And this is a really huge and big topic. Like my personal advice here, do not show any practice if the design team didn't face this issue yet, because they will not understand the value and they might not be interested in that. So that's why it's better, as I said before, listen first and understand what are the challenges they have, and do not push more and share more practices that they didn't felt yet. Don't give solutions if team not faced the problem yet. This is the thing that I just shared right now. It's importance of the right onboarding. Bicycle is not the right choice to fly to the space. That means that if we are trying to, during our large design organization, came up with some really complex solutions, and we need some complex, we are trying to achieve some complex results, that means that, yes, the process will be complex. But again, the goal of DesignOps, the last step of automate, is to make sure that this flow can be simplified by automating some of the work. Make it simple and don't make it too complex if it's not needed. This is about the adaptation, and try to automate the routine work. And this is the topic that I want to share with you today. And I hope I was able to motivate you to think about the automations in your design organization. So a couple of thoughts about the current trends that we see right now. The world is changing. Just making the right things is not enough. And we see that speed and quality is the competitive advantage. And that's why just by having the right design practices, the right design thinking inside our organization is not enough. We need to make sure that we are spending enough focus and enough effort in operations as well. And the last part is, do we need a design ops or not? I think the answer here is yes, because with DesignOps, your design organization can quickly grow and implement some of the practices that and solve these challenges that they have. That's all from my side. Thank you for having me in Design Day. It was a tough week, but I hope you like the presentation, and I will be happy to answer your questions right now.
Great, thank you, Farid. I think we have some questions here, just in case we don't have time later. For the audience who submit your question, please send me your email, otherwise we won't be able to give you the prize. Yeah, okay, so let me start by, there's a question from Kate. Could you kindly share your favorite tools and most funny, curious story during the work experience?
Yes, one of sorry, the tools that I really like the most right now is Figma, and the most importantly is because it's cloud-based and they have a lot of great API integrations and other things. This is for facilitating some workshop, doing some prototyping there, supporting the design system. Another tool that I like is Maze. That is my second favorite tool that helps to quickly generate some scripts and conduct some unmoderated usability testing. It's really I really like the Maze, and they have interesting features around conditional surveys. So if user, for example, answered with some option, we can show different flows, different prototypes, and Maze have really deep integration with the Figma. And if you have some micro interactions there as well, like users swiping up or other things, Maze supports that as well. So I really like this combination of tools. From the management perspective, my favorite is Jira Cloud specifically. Jira Server is also good, but we need to make sure that we are using the latest version. And for Jira Server, there is not a lot integrations and plugins that are available. So that's why my preferred tool from the management perspective is Jira Cloud. From the communication, I like how Microsoft Teams is changing right now and improving their user experience. Slack is my second favorite, but we don't have it officially in our company. So that's why, from the communication perspective, I really like Microsoft Teams. If we are speaking about motion design, I'm using After Effects, and by having these Lottie extensions, I'm able to quickly export that to our development environment. And it's like from the motion design, my favorite one is After Effects with Lottie. So yeah, that's the answer.
Cool, thank you. I think we are running out of time, unfortunately. So out of the question you answered for 8, do you want to pick a winner?
Let's, will you be able please share me all the questions, and I will pick the winner after, like in 10 minutes.
It's in the chat.
Okay, 1 second. Let me just stop sharing my screen. I think, yes, the question about from Kate about share your favorite tools, I think that's the winner for today.
Okay, make sure Kate send us your email. All right, thank you guys. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate you being here. I think the next talk is after 10 minutes or something. Take a short break. We'll come back later. See you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.